If you want to look slimmer, taller, without losing weight, without dieting or without exercising, this video is for you. I am going to show you lots of different examples of how you can use your clothes to instantly lose weight and look taller. It doesn't matter what age you are, what background you come from, what your style is, what body shape you are, or what you've worn previously. I'm going to show you lots of real life examples so that you can use them in your own wardrobe today. So let's get started. Now, first up, we want to draw attention to the slimmest parts of our body. Now, whatever size you are and whatever body shape you are, there is always the slimmest parts of your body. So what are they? Well, every single time it applies to your neck, it applies to your wrists, also it applies to somewhere on your middle. So essentially what we're trying to do is draw attention to those areas of our body that are the slimmest, so that we're drawing attention away from the areas we're not quite as confident in. So that might be that you roll up your sleeves so that you're showing off your wrists more. Maybe you wear delicate jewellery on your sleeves. It could be that you wear an interesting matching necklace. Anything that draws the eye away from that area you're not so happy with will really help you. So maybe wear some matching jewellery around your neck, maybe around your wrist. It could be that if you are an apple shape, for example, and you're thinking, well, hang on a minute, how can I come in around my tummy when my tummy's bigger than my bust? You're absolutely right. So in that instance, you come in just underneath the bust, have a top that gently, or a dress that gently skims over that tummy, but always come in on your thinnest area. So if you are an apple shape, it will be directly under your bust. If you are, say, for example, an hourglass shape or a pear shape, then that would be on your waist. So what we want to do is draw attention to those slimmest areas. That's number one. Number two, we want to choose garments which support our body and have tailoring or a cut which really enhances our best features. Now, a really simple way of doing this, and you can otherwise wear things that are quite casual, but a really simple and easy way of doing this is to wear a blazer that has the two back panels that come down the back in that sort of shape. Now, if you go out to a shop or have a look in your wardrobe now and see if you've got any blazers or jackets that have that kind of shape, it usually comes from the armhole and then comes out and it goes in that sort of shape and kicks out again. What that automatically does is gives the impression of shape in your body. So even if you do have a tummy which is bigger than your bust, wearing that jacket will give you that shape back again. Now, if you've put on weight and you now really struggle with what works for you and what doesn't, it could well be you've been looking after kids, you've been working, all those things which take us away from looking after ourselves, which is very common. I talk to women all the time in this situation. Definitely book in for a discovery call with me. I'd love to talk to you and I'd love to help you get that spark back. So I'll put the link here and also in the notes. Now, one of the second things that I'll say in regards to tailoring and trousers or pants is that if you find that they come up quite long, go to a tailor, get them taken up, but bring the shoes with you that you are going to wear with those items. Now, if you can wear heels, I would bring those heels with you, because what the tailor will do is cut those trousers just slightly above the ground, which will again give you that length. The other thing I'll just note before we finish this section is you can also get shirts which have those panels at the back as well. So look for shirts which are cut to a shape which gives you that shape here. It doesn't matter what body shape you are, it doesn't matter what size you are, I promise you this will make a difference overall in slimming you and giving you that shape that you want. So look for those panels in the back of shirts and blazers. Now, next up is the fabric itself. Now, what I would strongly advise you to do, and this is quite a simple one that you can apply anywhere, is don't wear shiny, stretchy fabrics over areas that you aren't happy with. If you're going to wear stretchy fabrics, be really careful about where you put them. Put them in areas that you're very confident with, but with a shiny element added onto it as well, it will enhance it even further. So what we want to do is we want to think darker and matte, and maybe with a fabric that's got a little bit more structure and a little bit more weight to it. You could wear a dress which is exactly the same shape on both occasions. On one occasion in a shiny material which is thin and stretchy, it will just cling to all those lumps and bumps, and you may as well have arrows pointing to them going, here they are. But if you wear something which is structured, which is dark and has a little bit of weight to it as well, so it holds you in a little bit, it can make a huge difference, particularly if you wear one block colour in, say, for example, a dress from top to toe. It will also make you look taller as well. Think about using the step back method. So what is this? So the step back method is essentially where you wear a long, usually a coat, or maybe a scarf, a lightweight scarf that runs down your body and draws two lines straight down your body. Now the reason for this is because it actually then, it draws the eye down, and it also cuts your torso into several pieces. So you've got the panel in the middle, you've got the two panels where the lines are downside, and you've got the panels on the outside. Now if you wear a darker colour underneath, it sets your body underneath back, and the lighter colours go down either side, and it makes you instantly look taller, and it makes you instantly look slimmer as well. It's a really simple method. It does work better with a coat or maybe with a jacket, but if you don't have a jacket, a long necklace or a long scarf can work equally as well. Essentially, we're just trying to draw a line down the body and divide it up, and it will make a huge difference. I promise the step back method works every time. Now the next one is avoid horizontal stripes. Now you've probably heard this one before, and you're absolutely right. Vertical stripes would look a lot better, similarly to what I was talking about in the previous section where we're drawing the eye down the body rather than across. Now the way in which you can wear horizontal stripes and you can still get away with it is, let's say for example you've got a navy and white striped t-shirt and you want to wear that under a navy blazer, and it's quite a long blazer, and maybe you've got navy trousers on underneath. If you have that, that will still work because you'll have the two darker lines cutting down the body. So it's not that you can't wear horizontal stripes, sometimes it's just how you wear them. But I wouldn't wear a horizontal striped dress, for example, because it will make you look wider than one with stripes that go straight down, or even stripes that maybe go in the diagonal as well. Now the next one is the different types of trousers that work for different body shapes, but essentially what we are trying to do is elongate your body. Now if you are tall, you're absolutely fine and you can pretty much wear bell bottoms, wide leg, straight leg, anything you want. Now the one type of trouser which I feel often lets people down is the skinny jean, because the skinny jean will cling to everything and emphasize it as well. Now let me explain this. So for example, if you are an apple shape and you are big around your tummy and you wear skinny jeans, yes, you've got skinny legs, and yes, they look great in those skinny little trousers, but what it does is it just emphasizes how much bigger your tummy is. So what you're better off doing is wearing medium waisted, so they sit just underneath your tummy. Wear medium waisted, straight leg or slightly wide leg trousers. It does depend a little bit on your height. So if you are quite petite, I would go for a straight leg rather than a wide leg. If you're taller and you're an apple shape, you can go for a wider leg. But go for medium waisted, because what that will do is it will balance out your tummy better. If you've got these skinny little legs coming out the bottom and then you've got a tummy which you're conscious about already, all it does is emphasize the difference. So what you want to do is try and balance that out. Now, if you are a pear shape, similarly, if you wear skinny trousers, it will cling to your bottom and hips, enhancing those, the shape of those, and then you've got your skinny calves at the bottom as well. So what again I would do is I would go for a wide leg or a straight leg. Again, it does depend on your height, but similarly to the apple shape, I would go for that because it helps balance out your hips. Now, but in this case, I would go for higher waisted. Now, if you've got quite a short torso and you're saying to me, oh, but you know, I'm a pear shape. Most pear shapes, by the way, have longer torsos. But if you've got quite a short torso and you are close to a pear shape, then what I would do is wear the same colour on your top and your bottom half. So it will still give that length as well. Now, if you really struggle with your wardrobe and it's overwhelming, you need to edit it out and you're not quite sure where to get started, definitely download my Capsule Wardrobe Blueprint. It will give you a few ideas of how to think about your wardrobe, thinking about what to keep, what to get rid of, and you can kind of fill it out as you go along. So I'll put the link to that to here and also in the notes. Now, the next one is colour blocking over your widest areas. So let me explain this. And this is something that I see quite commonly. So let's say you're a pear shape or similarly, you've got quite big hips and bottom and you want to try and cover that up. The instinct is, and I see this all the time, is to get a jumper or to get a t-shirt and pull it down over those hips. But all you're doing is making your body go straight up and down. You're actually making your whole body look wider. So what you need to do different to that, and it goes against your instinct, I know, is to wear darker trousers on the bottom. You wear darker wide leg or straight leg trousers on the bottom, and then it comes in at the waist, so have it high waisted, and then have a different coloured top on the top half. Now, if you are particularly hippie and it is your bottom and your thighs that you're worried about, then the colour blocking should work from your waist upwards. Do not have a t-shirt or a jumper that you pull down that finishes on your hip, that draws a line across your hip where the colour blocking meets. So the colour blocking, I'm meaning your top against your trousers, so that it meets your hip, which is what most people do, okay? Because all that does is draws a nice little line across your hip exactly where you don't want it to happen. So have it at the waist and have a lighter colour on top. Maybe even have something that's got slightly puffy shoulders or fluted sleeves or something like that that helps you balance out that balance. But what you don't want to do is put your colour blocking across your widest part of your body. So in other words as well, if you are an apple shape and let's say you've got a top which has got dark at the top and then it's light at the bottom, if that dark and light draws a stripe across the middle of your tummy, that is the worst thing that you can do. So use your colour blocking strategically. Now, a fantastic way to use colour blocking is where you've got two panels going down the side of your body. Now, like I spoke about earlier with the coat that runs down the side of your body, another brilliant way of doing this is look out for dresses which have dark panels that run down the outside and a lighter panel down the middle. You could have a dress on which has exactly the same style, and maybe in one it's all white and the other one it's got two panels going down the side, and I promise you that will instantly make you look taller and slimmer. So what we're trying to do is use colour blocking in a really clever way, either with a jacket or something that runs down the body, or integrated panels that are in a dress, for example. Next up is use patterns strategically. So what we want to do with patterns is often patterns are quite good at hiding those sort of bumps. So if your tummy comes right out and you're really conscious about it, a pattern worn under a simple block colour can have a brilliant effect. So you have maybe a pattern shirt which is fitted, it shouldn't be loose by the way. Again, look for those panels in the shirt that run at the back of it because that will mean it has been cut to a shape. So a pattern shirt like that worn under a simple blocked coat or maybe a block jacket would look great. So use patterns strategically. Now, last but not least, this is quite a simple one, but essentially what we want to do is draw the eye away from that tummy area or your bottom area. So there are some really simple ways of doing this. Have a piece of jewellery that's a focus point, so whatever else you're wearing is quite plain and simple, and then you've got this one focus point of jewellery. It could be a neck scarf. A brilliant one, if you're into it, is hats. I wear hats all the time, not wearing one today, but I quite often wear berets and trilby hats. If you've never really worn hats, maybe go and try a few on and see how you get on with that, because what that can do is obviously, particularly with a trilby or fedora, can add inches on the top of your head as well. So we are trying to top and tail. What we're trying to do is draw attention to the top and also the bottom. So it could be you've got a really interesting pair of shoes. Maybe you've got a pair of shoes with heels on. Maybe you've got a bright colour pair of shoes that then match through to a bag. Or maybe you've got a hat that matches a pair of shoes. I've done that before. That then means you're drawing attention away from this middle area. Go for matte, darker in the areas you're not so happy with, and lighter, brighter and vibrant in the areas that you are. So essentially we're drawing the eye away from that at the top of the body and also down at the bottom of the body as well. So another thing that you can do as well with accessories, if you've got a bag on your shoulder and it's got the strap hanging down, again, that draws a line down your body, which is fantastic. But again, what that does is it divides up the body. So all of this is all about being strategic, where you put colours, where you put patterns, where you put paneling, and it can make a huge difference to your height and your width and the way that you look. And let me know in the comments whether you did this and whether there's an outfit in your wardrobe that you haven't tried before, but now you can see what a difference it makes. I promise you, this will work. Let me know in the comments how you get on. I'd love to hear from you. So thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you have a wonderful week and I will see you next time. Take care.